This is the Tree of Life, Season 21, Chapter 1. In this episode, we will be reinterpreting the last episode in the context of quantum decoherence. In the last episode, we talked about how in reverse substitution events, the incoming consciousness acts out the acquiescence, resulting, in the absence of further negation, in the integration of that impulse and consciousness into the self-representation of the subject. We talked about how when that acquiescence is followed by further negation and a sequential substitution event, the result is the externalization of the consciousness as an object within one of the two streams, digital or analog. This externalization can be reinterpreted as a form of quantum decoherence. In other words, reverse substitution events mediate between wave-like behavior of the subject and individuation, as between that subject and the incoming consciousness. We saw that flipping of valence from negational to affirmational within the digital stream is caused by the acting out the acquiescence of the incoming consciousness. We also saw that flipping of valence produces a return to a flow of consciousness from vessel to vessel. Thus, we can conceptualize reverse substitution events followed by substitution events as mediating the wave-like behavior between the subject and incoming consciousness. In other words, bifurcation of awareness, representing awareness of the two streams, digital and analog, produced during the transitionary period, permits observation of the process of decoherence, in the absence of covariance. Quantum decoherence describes the process by which information within a system is lost to the environment, through the failure to integrate the impulse acted out by the incoming consciousness. This failure to integrate produces individuation, which results in the incoming consciousness becoming an object within one of the two streams during the subsequent substitution event. Now, all of this makes sense since we saw that reverse substitution events erase a series of future paths prospectively from the perspective of the subject in path parsimony, whilst substitution events eliminate path convolution retrospectively for path parsimony. For the subject passing between the reverse substitution event and the substitution event which follows it, path parsimony is followed. Ordinarily, after a substitution event, time parsimony would reflect the occurrence of all those convoluted paths within the causal reordering, which are erased retrospectively for path parsimony. But, the prospective erasure of those convoluted paths via the reverse substitution renders the loss of information complete both from the perspective of time parsimony and path parsimony. In effect, quantum decoherence reflects a complete adjustment to path convolution within past and future caused by retrospective and prospective elimination of the convoluted paths from path parsimony for the subject. Likewise, this effect, the shifting of an incoming consciousness to an external object within one of the streams, through the lack of integration of that impulse into the self-representation of the subject, could explain the appearance of individuation. Since we saw that individuals can exist within nested reverse substitution events, which extend to the limits of their awareness, the flipping of that nested event into a nested substitution could produce the same transition of objects into the awareness through non-integration of the corresponding impulses which relate to them. That's the end of the podcast for today.